Yay! You still? How'd this happen? Did did I have you backwards anyways? I think
Yeah, you did.
that's all right. That's okay. Hi.
Do you realize
Happy
how hard
Tuesday,
it is?
everybody.
Do
You
you
know,
realize how hard it is to be quiet for a whole minute?
it is
Right?
terrible. It is terrible.
It
And I
is.
had well, see, it's Tuesday, and I had Mexican food, and I really just knew in the quiet that something was going to happen to everybody here. But it didn't happen, so we're good. Hey, it it's Kansas's week. Go, Pam.
We have backstage.
No, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. We gotta let him know. We gotta let him know. I was prepared because I thought it was my week,
I
and
did too.
Pam thought it was my week as well, and she was not prepared. So I tell you what we're gonna do for this week and this week only. We'll give Pam another week to prepare. She can take
Ooh.
stuff next week. So since I have some stuff here, I'm gonna go ahead and it'll be Arkansas kind of week.
Awesome.
Woo!
Thank
Does that
you.
sound great?
That
You
sounds
owe me.
fantastic.
You owe me.
I'll cover it next week.
Right. Hey, you know, I will say that I go looking for paranormal stuff to throw in the mix, and there's really nothing that I can find in Arkansas, paranormally speaking. And of course, it'll take a little while for people to start to get out of their dark rooms and start venturing out into
So
the
cold.
It's still cold. It's rainy outside.
And windy.
Yeah, it's lightning and all that stuff. So what I got here, I got there's a whole bunch of stuff, and if you look locally, you know there's stuff around you. But this weekend here across the river in Van Buren, it's a real fun thing, and if you've never done it, you should do it at least once. They have one of the monster truck wars, and
yeah.
those are fun. Have you ever been to one of those?
A
Yeah.
long time ago. I'm from the
They're
south. I'm from
loud.
southern Alabama. They are loud.
They're loud and they're
They're
fun.
very loud.
And it's $25. So, and if you got kids, it's a kid event. It's great to take kids to, especially if they're between 3 to 12. It's only $10. I mean, it is a great thing. And those are memories that'll stick with kids for a long time because it's always fun to see them trucks do what they do. Another one that I thought was really interesting. Another interesting thing that is going on here in Arkansas and Little Rock. It's going on for a few days between March 12th and March 16th at the Robinson Center in Little Rock. Get this. I want to go to this. It is, oh, excuse me. I don't know if everybody heard that. But March 12th through 16th at the Robinson Center in Little Rock is a Back to the Future, the musical.
Oh,
Ooh, wow.
Interesting.
Fun.
It's got to
That
be
was a good
interesting.
lead in with that sound.
Oh, yeah, it really was. It probably hit 88 miles an hour. Sure did. And March 14th in Hot Springs, there's a Valley of the Vapors Independent Musical Festival, and those are pretty cool. If you go to lowkeyarts.org, tickets are $20 a day, or you can get a weekend pass for $50. And in March 29th, and this is something I'd really like to go to. It's in North Little Rock. At the Argentina Plaza in North Little Rock is a place to be for Arkansas Times Craft Beer Festival.
Fun.
Craft beer festival.
Wow.
It's at over 150 different types of beers, and there'll be food trucks. It's only $40 to get in. You can get a VIP thing for $100. So
beer and food. How can
beer
you
and food.
not want to go to that?
I like it. I like it.
I do too.
I do like a beer. I will say.
Sounds like a
I do too.
paranormal event.
This is water. This is water with fruit in it. I'm just saying. But anyhow, that's what we got coming in Arkansas. Of course, every time it's time for me to speak about Arkansas events, I will always point to the Arkansas Paranormal Expo. That is in October, and you do not want to miss that. So the reason why I say it and I bring it up all the time is because you need to make plans to be there. Get a hotel and stay and hang out with us. We will be there and and come up. Maybe we'll interview live there.
Yeah.
Right? Yay! Hey, oh yeah. It's all kinds of. We had fun last time, and we won't have the same issues that we had last year.
Oh my gosh! And the year before. So last year was a lot worse.
But you know, we're
Pam
gonna
and I
have
had a
issues.
great time with that issue.
Well, well, it's just one of those things, you know. We wouldn't be amok if things didn't go amok. So that's
Right.
it.
We were
And
at a
speaking of
church
amok,
service.
we were. That was kind of fun.
We were.
That was kind of fun.
That was
We got what do we got this week? We have what is his name?
We have
Matthew
Matthew Lampe.
Lampe. He said Lampe because I wasn't sure if it was one of those things because didn't know if he actually said the E at the end of his name or if it was a silent E, and then I was going to know why is it even there. But apparently it's there and it's serving a purpose because he's not just a lamp. He's a lampy.
Not just a
He's
lamp.
from,
Well, he will probably correct me when he gets on too. So, and that's okay.
that's all right. But he has got this is a new place, correct?
Yes.
Who found this? You found this, Ken?
No, actually, Karen and Patty found it online, and then I saw it
Yeah.
online, and the three of us decided to book it for August.
Book it.
So
Nice.
we are
Book
going the
it.
first weekend of August. Yeah. So
And I'm sure that area is nice and cool in August, and you don't have to worry about being all
absolutely.
sweaty.
Yeah.
It's not Louisiana in the summertime.
Yeah,
That's for
there's
dang
these
sure.
big fans on the streets, you know, that kind of keep things cool. Yeah, it's Missouri.
Well, let's
Come
bring him in.
on.
Let's bring him in. Matthew Lampe. And let's see where he goes in this. I bet you go right in the middle, and that just can be wrong. No, he went where he
Oh, I'm
belongs.
over there.
See?
Oh,
I like it.
Wow,
Hey,
he
Matthew.
ended up where he's
Yeah.
how's
supposed
it
to
going?
be.
That ain't all how I expected that to go. So, all right. So, Matthew Lampe, tell us a little bit about yourself. What are you? First off, before you get into paranormal, who are you?
Who am I? Oh, born and raised Mountain Home, Arkansas. Father was a preacher, still is a preacher. Uh, Tried to raise me the best he could. Of course, we rebel just as much as we possibly can as preachers' kids. And eventually started going my own way and started finding my way into cemeteries at the age of 20. So,
You're a weirdo.
Ah,
yeah.
nice.
Oh,
Nice.
yes,
Yep.
right on.
What do you do for a living?
Normally just delivering groceries with Walmart. So that is
Oh,
the
yeah.
main. Yeah. Now my whole focus has been here at the brothel lately. So
So, that
So
sounds
he's the
kind of
madam.
funny.
Yeah, he's the madam. Yeah.
He's the madam.
I just hang out here at the brothel.
yeah,
You got a deep voice
Pulls
there,
in the
madam.
bucks, yeah.
it is nice having it on my resume on Facebook though. That is kind of
Oh,
fun.
I love it.
So this is a new place that you're trying to get out there and for people to know and come visit, correct?
For the most part, new. The current owner has let other people in before, but not regularly whatsoever. So.
All right. So tell us a little bit about the history and then why it's haunted.
So the history of this building is a little bit sketchy. They are still trying to find things every single day, but for the most part, we think it was to be started completion in 1887 around then, and definitely by 1890. And it's been everywhere from a bank to a saloon to a clothing store to jewelry to a photo studio to everything. So,
Wow.
Wow.
A building of all trades.
pretty much. Pretty much. Even the police have rumored that it's been a brothel many times throughout its history, boarding houses, hotels, everything. So
Wow.
So what interesting bits of history do you know of?
the main history that I have found, at least 100 mining accidents happened from the time when they started in 1870, officially mining in 1870, until around 1910. And you can just imagine how safe things were back then. People getting blown up from drilling into old powder kegs that didn't explode to just giant cave-ins that people are just stuck and you just no way of getting them out, and gases that they run into and everything. And they needed entertainment back then, and this is one of those places they used to come to.
What do they mine?
Right
I can't
on.
remember.
Lead, galena, ore, and pretty much
Okay,
that was the main. So galena was the main one.
gotcha. And are there mines underneath this structure or throughout the town? Do you know?
Everywhere throughout this
Everywhere.
town, there are mines. At one point in time, I saw on an old mining map just showing the different camps, and there was at least 60 to count of just within the area. So,
Okay.
and there was one newspaper article where one mining camp that was not too far away from here experienced 8 deaths within their camp within a 2 month span period of time. So,
Holy cow.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So wow. So
So
1880s. So it really was the big just after the Wild West, as they
Wow.
Pretty
call it,
much. Pretty much.
1860s basically, but 1880s. But that's pretty cool.
And the right next door was the old Bank Motel, and for the longest time, that place has been rumored for gangsters, and a brothel as well was running there. Many, many rumors of that. But one of the best things, one of the main rumors, is of the underground tunnels that run between the buildings that have been rumored to exist. And there's some places in some of these buildings where we have found areas where there could have possibly been a tunnel. So, but over the years, things have been filled up for so long, and there's been so many other different businesses run throughout all of these buildings. It's so hard to trace exactly what was where. So,
Okay. Sounds like some
so,
exciting history.
hmm
so how long have you been involved with this building?
so I've been investigating it probably a handful of times over the last 3 years, but one day I just had an urge to go and talk to the owner and ask her if she would be interested in something like this, because really the Pythian Castle and Jefferson State Penitentiary is the only stuff that we have around right now. And of course, I didn't know if you guys knew about the tuberculosis hospital in Boonville being closed down, but that was a staple in Arkansas for the
He-
longest time, and we were gracious enough to be able to go in right before that got closed down that year, unfortunately. So.
Oh, that's kind
Yeah,
of
that's
cool.
one of
I
the
mean,
things that I've been investigating for years. It's because it's
Yep.
just down the street.
Same.
So,
Boonville's
but
pretty active too. I mean, they had the Kemper military there. They had
hmm
what's that called? Not Rock Cliff, but Rock something down there by the river.
ooh, what?
Um,
In a
there's
van down by the river. I'm
there
sorry.
was the old building
That
down
was the
there
only thing I was thinking
down by
of.
the
Well,
river. But they had that's sorry about that. But yeah, there's quite a few different places in the Boonville area. But yeah, no, you're right. Mopan and Pythian, those are the most popular ones. And now they got the morgue down in Ozark. Have you been there?
I have not, only because the whole thing isn't open to the people who rent the B&B. It's just the main area where you live and sleep. So if
Okay.
she ever opens up the whole entire building, then I would have more interest in probably going and investigating it. So.
Okay. But it's pretty
Well,
interesting.
we
Go ahead.
we've all looked at the pictures that you'd had on your Facebook and everything like that of this building. It seems like a good sized building, a lot of places to hang out.
It
But
really
but
is.
you said you've been going there for a while and now you're managing the place. Tell us about some experiences that you had there.
Okay, so from the beginning, trying to go down to the basement was always the hardest part for me. And it was always rumored to have the undesirables that were kept in the basement. The less more occupied, well, undeserving women would be there. And that place always gave me the creeps. And I remember years ago, I felt like I got touched, but you never really know if you got touched. Maybe it was just your clothing brushing up against you different. You might have felt it, but footsteps above you while you're down in the basement. Recently, though, we've done a lot more investigating, and I'm a lot more braver now, a little bit more braver now. Weird EVPs have been caught down there, as well as audible voices. Women have been getting touched down there. And one other thing that I haven't necessarily shared with too many people, but only because it happened to one other person now, while I was working here, cleaning everything up and getting it ready for people to come in, I would notice scratches, but I wouldn't notice them until I go and take a shower whenever I get home, and you feel that burning sensation on your skin. I'm like, and I never put stock in scratches, never really before, but every single time they were showing up in threes, and I don't know, but that was just something weird, and it happened to another girl while she was here investigating, and yeah, so I don't know.
The only time I ever got scratched, I asked to get scratched, and they didn't even break skin. They just brought a red line over my neck, and it was like, okay, that's cool. But I've heard of people getting scratched before, and I think it's scary.
Yeah, scratched, poked, hit,
Yeah.
slapped. But even if it's threes, to me, it doesn't really matter a whole lot. It's just they just had 3 fingers on you. They were trying to grab you, and they missed.
Yeah.
I don't put any stock into 3 either. Just like it said, it knocked 3 times. Every time I knock 3 times.
I knocked 3 times.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a demon. Oh no. Anyhow.
But no, so
yeah.
I actually had a wonderful investigation a couple of months ago back in December where I got to do the building across the street, the old Bank of Aurora. And that was called Bootleggers for the longest time as a restaurant. And I did that building plus the brothel the same night with 4 of us all together. And that night, while my investigators were over here, they were doing an Estes session over by this old antique piano. And there had been this mirror that had been leaning up against that piano for about 3 months. People come by, kick it, accidentally knock it, but it's never fallen over. But this thing got slammed over right next to them, and she heard in the Estes, it said move right beforehand, and what sounded like a man and a woman arguing. And then as soon as it fell over, she heard, ha ha. And that was kind of funny. And goodness gracious. Also, some claims from the maintenance guy who is a skeptic, non-believer. He was talking about being a non-believer one day, and I guess she had a china cabinet that had lips in front of each stall where all the different things were, and there was no way that anything could come out, but a butter dish apparently flew out of there and shattered towards his direction while he was talking about being a non-believer one day. And he was also here by himself, and he was in the bathroom, and he thought he heard the owner call his name and yell for him in there, and she didn't show up for another 20 minutes.
Oh, that's fun.
Wow.
So that was pretty cool.
That's pretty
And
I'm ready.
I had Joplin. Oh goodness. So the craziest thing, well, I don't even know if the craziest thing, but one of the craziest things that's happened was down in the basement when Joplin Paranormal was here about a month ago, and 2 guys were down there with me, and they had a couple of different, maybe one app and one spirit box that went off simultaneously so you could hear them both at the same time. And I heard in my right ear, just like that. And I commented to my friend, like, dude, that was creepy when you did that. And he's like, dude, what? And I was like, when you just went, he's like, dude, I didn't do that. And I was like, did you do that? Neither one of them heard it, but the camera that Tyler was recording us with picked it up. So, and that's on our Facebook too. And that's one of the coolest evidence pieces right there. That they didn't hear it, but I did. And the camera picked it up. So, yeah.
No,
that's just a few of the things. Yeah.
So
go ahead.
I was gonna say, so are you kind of an experiencer then? Do you experience a lot of things as far as you personally?
In my own life, in my everyday life, or do you mean just here at the
Whichever.
I mean, I constantly feel like I see things out of the corner of my eye here and everywhere. At my house, though, we've had a couple of weird things that have happened. The first time I ever received a pair of dowsing rods for the first time, I had a 45-minute long conversation with the old woman that was haunting my girlfriend's house at the time. And but going to cemeteries with a spirit box has pretty much been the best communication that I've had regularly. So,
okay.
Yeah. I get super anxious, and I get that twisting knot feeling, that flight. I do not fight. I am like, if I can feel when the energy is getting closer, and that just makes me so super nervous, and I have to, unless I got somebody there with me, then I feel like I can battle the world, usually.
Oh, yeah.
When I feel these things coming on me, I'm not sensitive at all, other than I'll
Mm.
write sad songs and
I
movies.
just have the hair on the back of your neck stand up like somebody's watching you
But
kind of feel.
yeah,
That's pretty much it.
I get that. But are you sensitive at all, or just like when you say you feel stuff coming at you?
We've had mediums in our groups before as I've come along in different groups that I've been in. And I've practiced doing other things before, but I've never done it, tried to do it regularly. Pretty much just feeling the energies whenever they're close. That's pretty much what I try. My ADHD brain is so chaotic and so stupid a lot of the times. I don't trust a lot of the crap that comes through my head. So for me to try to tell people, hey, this is what I'm feeling, what I'm sensing, when I could just be making it up, in my own brain. It's hard for me to say, and that makes me unsure of myself. So I've never really tried it
No,
too much.
I get that. I get that. No, I'm not a sensitive, but I have been in places where you just feel like a heaviness, a weight about things, and I understand that. And
Hmm.
really weird. If I'm in a really active place, I'll feel like I put a hat on, and
Mm.
I
Oh,
don't know.
like you put a
I don't
hat
know if that.
on?
Yeah, like I feel like I have a hat on me,
Oh,
Oh.
and
yeah.
it's really weird. So, but
That's weird.
I don't really have any. I don't have any evidence to ever correlate with right at that moment or anything like that. It's just always weird. So I don't know if it has to do with the levels of energy that are happening at that time. But I mean, my wife knows what I'm saying. I feel like I got a hat on me, and
Hmm.
it's kind of weird. But yeah, but I never run away.
Yeah.
No.
I'm like, bring it
I'll
on.
walk fast. Sometimes it just depends. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bricks
I'm
are
one of the
flying.
weirdos
I'm
that
flying
tends to
out.
run
So
towards it like, hey, what is that sound? Let's go see what it is.
yeah, yeah. If somebody's with me, I'm all for that. Yeah, I'm bouncing, but I'm bouncing towards the noise. But yeah, it's a little difficult sometimes.
Well, you've been to the TB hospital on the 5th floor. I was up there by myself and heard quite a few things going on while I was talking. So,
Fifth floor was never that bad for me. The third floor has
really?
always been the one that's been for us. I've been on the fifth by myself, okay, for the most part, but they strapped me to one of the psych beds on the third floor for a while, and that was one of the scariest moments of my life. But
Uh,
that's where I've seen the Shadow Man. That's where he popped out of one of the elevator doors. Right in front of us, we saw his face, we saw his hair, we saw the color of his shirt. It was the creepiest damn thing I'd ever seen in my life. But he looked just like
oh
the
my
Joker. He was like,
God.
like it was creepy, just like that. It was nuts.
Wow. I
Best
love the
place
third
ever.
floor. They like to
Oh
talk
yeah.
to you on the third floor. I'm known as the freak on the third floor to the ghosts.
Oh my goodness.
When they come across the spirit box, I'll ask them, hey, do you know who I am? And it's become an endearment. Freak.
Oh goodness. I find it hard to investigate sometimes when I'm there if there's just not very many people there with us because
Mhm.
I'm so focused on the feelings and the energy of the place that I'm finding it hard to even pull out my spirit box or my digital recorder to do any actual investigating sometimes. So
So how
Understandable.
big is the Aurora Brothel? How
about 1,800 square feet or 18,000
okay,
square feet. Sorry.
18,000 square feet. So it's multi floors.
Yeah, 3 floor. Well, 2 floors plus the full basement that runs the entire length of the investigative area. So, yeah.
Pretty good
So
size
it,
building,
I heard you mention about the basement. So does that seem
Mhm.
to be the area the most activity for you
Yes,
in, in
the
your
more
experience?
intense, energy for sure. Upstairs is pretty chill for the most part. I was constantly seeing things up there out of the corner of my eye while I was cleaning the place up. That took about a solid week. There have been 60 years of catch-all of all the owners that just stored everything up there. But uh, the noises that you hear from the first floor, you'll hear above you sometimes, and doors that you'll hear shut that can't even open, which is
Yeah.
weird. So, and the one part of this building that used to be part of the gambling hall and the hotel, a section of the roof, I guess, had gone bad at one point, and they dropped it and they made a 4 foot roof on the whole section of the floor. So it's kind of like an attic space now with insulation everywhere. But if you go in through that little cubby hole, you can see that there's wallpaper everywhere, and that it used to be a full room. But I put a little chair in there and swept out a little area if people actually want to go and lock themselves in there. So it's creepy. It's all get out. But
So have,
yeah.
so
Well, I
have
mean,
this,
come on.
so have,
Part of what we do is we enjoy the creepy. So, which is why we go past those old buildings and go, "Ooh, I'd like to investigate that." Why?
Oh yeah.
Creepy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Which is how I found this place. I just walked in one day and hey, you got any spooky stuff?
What were you
so
Pretty much
when you
thinking?
it.
were so when you were going through cleaning up everything and working in there, did you encounter some things that helped you or hindered you as far as your cleanup?
As far as material things that I found, or people that might have been there with me.
I'll call it the invisibles.
Oh,
The
okay.
invisible.
Um, Actually, to tell you the truth, the whole time I was doing it, I was very vocal about why I was there and what I was doing and what I was
Okay.
wanting to accomplish. And it really seemed the whole time like they were wanting it to happen, and so they weren't really bothering me too much.
Okay.
So it was every once in a while you get an eerie feeling, and your head would start kind of being on fire and goosebumps on your head, like they were real close. But most of the time, they were pretty much leaving me alone and letting me do my thing. So that
Okay.
was kind of nice. Yeah,
So it sounds like they're excited that this is going to be opening up for more victims. I'm sorry, some more guinea pigs.
more clients for the ladies,
More
actually,
clients. There, well,
probably.
there you go.
Well, that's what I was wondering when Ken finally gets a chance to go there in August. The female spirits are going to go crazy because he's such a hunk, such a
Oh yeah.
such a stud muffin.
Well, that's what I say. Ghost bait.
Shanda's in the chat, and she said Matt and I have had shared experience on the third floor.
Oh yes, we did. That's what I was talking about earlier with the smiley face guy. Me and her saw the exact same thing and went down into the conference room right afterwards and drew what we saw without each other seeing what we were drawing and pulled the paper off, and it was the exact same face. It was
Oh,
Crazy.
That's
wow.
it was
amazing.
absolutely insane. Shanda's my OG. She was on Heartland Paranormal Research Organization with Jerry Irby. They are OGs in the field, and she's not doing too much right now. She's a traveling NICU nurse and high ups in that, and just super busy lady right now. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, it's so funny. That building, we've had all kinds of experiences all over the place. So, but like I said, we've been
hmm
going there for years. We were one of the we weren't the first team in there. But back when we went in, there was only like 6 teams that was allowed to go in because way back in the day, only Arkansas teams were allowed to go. So anybody outside of Arkansas would have to team up with somebody, and
Oh
there
wow.
weren't there weren't teams around. So uh, uh, like when we started our team in Fort Smith, we were the only team in this part of the River Valley. There was nobody for hours away from us, so it was
Hmm.
pretty.
What year would that have
But
been?
now, oh God, no, you're going back 2006
Okay.
when we
Okay.
started the team, 2006, 2007. So we've been
Wow.
doing that. There was hardly any teams in there. So now no teams are in there because fools went in and ruined it for everybody. So
Yep. Yeah, I might try in a couple of years to go have a meeting with the superintendent and see if he might allow somebody in for a event to help out the people that are still living there, because that's why we went. Well, not why we went, but that's what the money went to, is for all
yeah,
those
that's what
people.
we did. We did several. We did Ghost Hunt on Haunted Hill. We did it for years and
Oh
raised a lot
wow.
of money for them. So it's good
hmm
times.
Yeah, definitely,
Anyhow,
definitely was.
so that's another thing. I mean, have you done any event? Because if you got an old building, you've got a lot of work that needs to be done. Have you thought about doing events there?
Definitely. I'm going to be reaching out to the community, which have already been super supportive. And we'll be opening up a free day for people to come in at certain hour intervals so they can have a nice 2 hour tour of the place, get the actual history, some actual things that have happened, some unfortunate things, of course, that have happened. And hopefully just keep everybody informed and knowing about what happened here. And so things aren't swept under the rug like a lot of small towns used to try to do a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
So, yeah. But one
Well,
thing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, please.
no, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say the police department here actually just recently put up a plaque and a memorable bench right in front of the doors of their police department because they're commemorating the person who lost their life right out in front of the front door here.
Yeah,
The
that's what you were
police
talking
officer.
about. That's what you're talking about
Yeah,
earlier.
I didn't even know that's where it happened until I found the newspaper article in the Springfield News Leader. So yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and tell that story again because you said that before the show.
So an officer and a bartender were at a saloon where the bartender worked at. Either it was the saloon right here connected to the brothel, or it was at another saloon down the street a little ways. But they were drinking together and had a small argument in the bar. And they were walking together down the street, and just after midnight, they were in front of what this place used to be the People's Bank. So right out the front door on the sidewalk, and they had more words. And the bartender ended up shooting the officer, and the officer stumbled across the street to right in front of the Bank of Aurora and died there right in front of the door. And as he fell, his I guess his body kind of convulsed and his hand set off his revolver, and it ended up grazing the thigh of the police chief who was right there watching his officer. And the guy who shot the officer gave up immediately, and he was taken to jail.
Wow.
And that was 1907, September 20th.
Oh
Good
my
time. September
God.
20th.
Yep.
Wow.
That's my wedding anniversary.
Oh, oh my goodness.
Well, looks like
My
you need to go to this place there, Adrian.
Yeah. Yeah.
My mom's
That,
birthday.
no. Well, I do want to go.
Oh,
I do
wow.
want to go.
I do too.
And you're not far away, which is cool. You're kind of central to all of us. So
Middle of
gonna have to-
everything, pretty much, yeah.
yeah, we're gonna have to converge on your place here
Yes.
and take a look. See now you are only open on the weekends, correct?
For right now, yes, definitely. Just Fridays, Saturdays from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. If you book for a Sunday night investigation, it's a little bit easier, and you can be let in at an earlier time and leave at a later time because she is not open. The owner is not open on Mondays or Tuesdays, so people can leave a little bit later and not have to head out so quite early.
I thought I read something about that there's been from the Aurora area some famous residents from that area, or some visitors that have come into town, or even some famous events that have happened in the past, like battles or something. Are you familiar with any of that?
Besides Wilson's Creek over in Republic,
Okay.
Missouri,
Okay.
that was one of the major battles for sure.
Okay.
There was lots of skirmishes throughout all of this territory. Where they are exactly, I'm not quite sure. And of course, the Indian battles that happened around here that nobody talks about, and there's no historical documents about. And they're about 1850s is when they finally started kicking all them out. So that was Osage back up
I
to
was gonna say
Ohio.
Osage. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and there's another cool place really close by here that nobody really knows about. It's called Spanish Fort Cemetery, and that the Spanish settled there on top of this giant mound hill, and it was an Osage temple basically, and it's an exact replica of the one in Ohio, but like a 20th scaled down. So
Oh, that's kind of cool.
that place is super cool. I got to go out there one Halloween night, and we just started up and watched meteorites that night. We were blessed to see those, though. So that was pretty cool.
That is pretty
Nice.
That's neat.
Anyway, I get sidetracked. ADHD.
No, you're fine.
No,
So do we.
that's-
That's why we're them up.
cool. Yeah, we yell squirrel all the time. So
I'm there. I guess I don't have the H part. I'm ADD, so I'm all right. But I do get sidetracked pretty easily. But that's what's cool about this whole area, the A.M.O.K region, Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Kansas. There's so much history and so much trauma that happened here that really didn't even make the history books. So when you're in there, some weird place, and you're like, why is this so active? And because there's a bunch. When we started investigating around this town, there was so much here that I thought, people saying hauntings are rare. I'm like, no, they're not. It's like in literally every house. So, that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
What do we got? I got lost here for a second. Never mind. I'm here. I'm back.
Are you back?
So have you heard anything while you've been sitting there? Because I know you said earlier before the show that you were kind of ooh.
Nervous.
Ooh.
There was a nice thump upstairs while I was down here getting my camera ready, so that just kind of sent me in a little bit of a nervous tick. But I am much better now. I'm sitting here actually watching the back door, making sure a shadow doesn't pop out of that little thing right there.
Now
So-
you were set up. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to talk about the cubby holes.
Ooh, the cubby hole.
I want
Okay,
to
so
be in the cubby hole.
apparently some owner let their kids play up there too, because there's some weird drawings on the inside of that, and you can only lock that thing from the inside. They can't lock from the outside. So
Oh wow.
yeah, it's weird, really strange. And yeah, that the upstairs where it's now used to be a floor, but now just a 4-foot ceiling. That's a weird place too. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
just-
So those
yeah,
were rooms,
it's just
right?
odd.
Yep.
And in the
Mhm.
basement there were rooms.
There are
You can-
multiple rooms down there.
That's where business happened.
One side of it is a lot more updated than the other because they used one section as a taxi service, actually. So there was a ramp that you can't see really any remnants of it now, but in the 40s there was a taxi service here that was real popular, and there was ramps that went down underneath the building where they serviced the vehicles, and you can't really tell too much down there anymore, but it's definitely more upkeep than the other side. So,
Yeah.
That
Oh.
sounds more like gangster activity
Gangsta.
and still.
what, in the 40s? No.
No.
No. So was Al located somewhere near there too, or?
So for the longest time, people rumored that, but I never found any real evidence about that. But most likely, part of his ring was running, booze out of this area, especially in the Bank Hotel. That place is. Before they started renovating it, there were so many weird side rooms and little slide open doors, and so you could peek to see who's actually there before you let them in, and there was definitely some weird stuff that went over there for sure. And, oh my gosh! And down in the basement area was an old speakeasy, and there is an area there where you can squeeze in behind part of the wall, and you could walk back about a good 45 feet straight up and down. And there was an old wooden gate in there that blocked off a part of it, and you could definitely tell they were either hiding people, women, or booze in there. One of it, something.
Maybe a
Probably
little.
booze.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it probably extended at one point in time, but they shut it off after shutting down the criminal network, which pretty much all the saloons around this area started shutting down in 1907, starting in November after the whole police murder happened. So that was pretty much it. But and definitely they allowed alcohol again at later times. So.
Well, yeah.
Goodness.
But I mean, yeah. But time that it was built through Prohibition era and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
It looks like you're sitting in an area. Is that part of the antique store? Is that what that is?
Yes, it is. Lots and lots of things in and out of this place all the time.
Yeah, I was going to say there's probably a lot of activity just in that area itself.
The butter dish was right here on the first floor that flew off. The
Okay.
mirror that fell over on my investigators was down here.
Oh,
Oh, did
The haunted butter dish. I like
did
that.
mirror break at all?
No, it didn't shatter. And you can hear it on the video. It hit hard, but it did not shatter. So I didn't have to pay her any money. So that
That's
made me happy.
dirty mirror.
I've actually
Yeah.
had that happen to us. It was about a 5 foot long and about 3 foot, 4 foot high that
Yeah.
sitting on an angle, and it just fell right behind all of us at someplace here in town one time. We were doing an investigation and didn't break. Nothing broke on it, which was
Wow.
so kind of like what you got. And,
Oh my
well,
goodness.
spirits are amazing, aren't they?
Oh yeah, yeah. She called herself the Junk Gypsies over here, the Jezebels, and she lives to the name. She is nothing but wonderful, nice attitude. I love it. I love it.
So do you investigate that part of it, or is that separate and closed off?
It is part of the investigative area for sure. Just any antique beds we don't let people sleep on that she
Yeah.
tries to sell. So, but people are able to buy things while they're here. She had a vintage 40s Ouija board here, and one of my investigators actually purchased it while he was here investigating with me one time. So,
Well,
yeah.
my wife loves to
Hey.
shop, so
Yeah. She's got a bit of everything here, for sure.
Oh my gosh.
There's only one section where people aren't allowed to investigate, and it was in the front door of the other side of the original bank area, and that's just where she stores all of her stuff so she can move inventory back and forth and stuff like that.
So you mentioned that there's antique beds that people can't sleep in. And
Yeah.
can you talk about the fact that can people stay the night? I mean, actually sleep there if they want to?
They can sleep, like if they want to throw up a cot anywhere on the floor, on the first floor, or a sleeping bag. They are more than welcome to sleep here until it's time for me to boot them out. But upstairs, I'm going to be starting to throw some brass beds that Myra is going to be generously letting me use to kind of make it look a little bit more brothy feel, a hotel feel. The basement will probably do it more like dirty brothel look style, and definitely make it a homey place.
wooden boxes.
Yeah. And unfortunately, there is only one way to get down into the basement, and it is through a drop floor by the bathroom behind the front desk wall. And the original back door entrance got filled in many years ago, and you can see it bricked up actually from down in the basement.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, but the steps have been reinforced now, and we have had the contractor who actually had the weird experiences here is the one who helped us do that finally to get it safe and ready for everybody to come in. So
That's great.
So is he freaked out of his mind?
no, he could still be in here anytime by himself, and it wouldn't bother him one bit.
Oh,
He's a freak. I don't get that.
Well, now you said that you grew up. Your father. Oh, go ahead, Pam.
Has the contractor had any experiences or anything?
Yeah, the butter dish is the one thing that got thrown at him from out of a china cabinet when he was talking about being a non-believer one day. And also he was in the restroom here by himself, and he thought he heard the owner, Myra, come in and holler for his name, and just like that, like loud as could be, and he comes out and she's nowhere to be found, shows up 10 minutes later, finally. Yeah. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. And if you hear a train, they are constantly going by because the old train depots were literally right next to this building. So,
wow. So it's not a ghost
that's
train.
one thing. No, not a ghost train. Not a ghost train. But one of the old rumors right next door in the Bank Hotel in one of the apartments was train master or train conductor or somebody who worked with the train company. Him and his wife lived up there, and it's rumored that he got hit by a train either going to Springfield or something like that, and she was told that she had 10 days to vacate, had nowhere to go because the new train master was coming to live there, and she ended up hanging herself, unfortunately. So leaving a couple of kids behind. So yeah.
That's kind of interesting.
Wow,
too,
how could you do that?
Some of the places I've been, and where there's multiple buildings.
Oh my God!
I mean,
I got that part.
The top of everything was. Oh, I got chilled on that one.
Oh my goodness!
Holy cow. Okay, hold on. I gotta block that one for now. Oh my God.
Lord have mercy. We're gonna get there, and I'm gonna say something about that when we're there. See what happens.
Oh my God. We'll try again here. There's been some places
I'm back now.
There's been some places where there's been multiple buildings. Sometimes you'll get nomads that I call them nomads that will, from one building will migrate over into the other building, either stay for a while, go back, and kind of go back and forth. So you may not. The stuff that's happening in your place may not just be because of your place, because of the neighborhood.
No, if there's a train close by, you could have all kinds of transient anything coming through. So,
tunnels underneath and all
sorts
of things
too.
And the antiques.
Yeah. constant different energy incoming and outgoing, and we've done experiments before. I remember one guy that we've used to investigate with him, Devin Beatty. He did an EMF experiment right next to a railroad track when it was going by, and for sure, even when it wasn't the engine car, it was fluctuating like crazy. But which also could be electrical lines within the railroad but he was getting fluctuations before it actually got there. So that was pretty cool whenever that happened. So it can happen. And all the different springs and natural flowing water that's underneath this place because of all the different openings that they've made throughout the years mining. That's just added to it. So
That's true. I mean, we are the cave state. We've got all the scenic waterways around all over Missouri. So yeah, a lot of energy, limestone, a lot of limestone. So volcanoes down by Adrian.
No.
What?
No
Yeah,
freaking volcano down here.
Volcanoes are down that way. Yeah,
No way.
the hot springs.
Those are way
my
over there.
goodness.
Well, it's down in Arkansas. It's part of the Ozarks. Anyway.
Yeah, it's your stomping ground.
Okay,
So
fine.
you said you grew up as a preacher's son. Now, if you don't mind me asking, what's your religion?
Christian.
Christian?
No, I know denomination, I guess, is what you're asking, but it was Lutheran growing up.
Lutheran? Okay. Well, my son is a apostolic, so everything I do involves demons, according to him.
Of course. Which, and I've read the passages in the Bible where it talks about all the different things, but things change throughout the years, especially from the Old Testament to the New Testament, and so. But I mean, nowhere we could get into Bible stuff too. But
Well, hey, it'll be right up
I
your
did all the Bible stuff, and there's a clear difference between any references to ghosts in the New Testament and demons in the New Testament and angels in the New Testament. They're three separate things. And because the church don't deal with the spiritual nature of things is the reason why I started my team as a ministry to help people, because the only people that say you're a Christian and you have a ghost in your house and the only people who are going to come to help you is a pagan, shame on the church. Shame on the church. And I'll throw shade their direction, and I'll use scripture to back it up. No, they need to help.
Well, the reason I said that was because it's good to hear that your father does support you in what you're doing.
Exactly.
I say supports me. He's okay with it. No. That man has such a never-ending love for his family, and he could never do that to somebody. He will literally support you through thick and thin, no matter if you kick him and punch him and scratch him. He will say, "I love you anyways." So that's just the kind of person.
That sounds like an awesome individual.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm jealous that I don't have that in my life.
I'm very sorry.
So
hey, that's why you have us.
My day.
Yeah, that's why he has us. Exactly. You're right.
But my church that I'm actually involved in right now, there were some guidelines that we did have to try to come to an agreement about because of being in a leadership role with some of the youth that I am in the church. Certain things I don't disclose. Yeah, definitely. But as soon as I told them that I was doing this, they were completely supportive about it and generous. So yeah, they're cool about it, and I like that. And that's Life Church out of Springfield, where I go to.
Very good.
Shout out.
This is your chance to plug whatever.
So you're fine.
And advertise.
It's an amazing experience.
Yeah. This is about you and then the Aurora Brothel and your experiences. Now, you've had experiences up until you said you started going and investigating at 20. Did you not have anything before that happened to you that you kind of questioned and was like,
I didn't really remember this until I started getting older, but I can heavily remember being in the room by myself growing up and seeing a shadow by a door. I would pull the covers over my head and I would feel that coldness just covering me like a wool blanket. and I could just feel it. And until that coldness went away, I did not open my eyes under that cover. And the feeling out behind our house was very intense, more so in the evenings, but I chalked it up more so to me being just a scared kid at the time. But I can definitely remember things happening that I probably tried to block out that have come to a little more light lately. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if
I
you're
always find it funny that when they talk about pulling the covers up over the head, because I can just imagine a ghost or demon or whatever coming in. I'm gonna get you. Oh, cover.
There we go.
security blanket.
Man,
Yo,
man,
I'm
Curses.
not here.
Hey,
You
foiled
don't see me.
again.
So Matthew, have all of your experiences then been with the, I'm going to call it the ghost or the spirit world, or have you had any other experiences like cryptids or UFOs or aliens or anything like that in your life?
Uh, there have been, I'm going to say, 2 times in my life where I have looked up in the sky and seen something that I just can't explain the maneuverability of some of these aircrafts that I've seen.
Okay.
Most anything during the nighttime, I've always seen is just, chalk up the satellites. They're always moving in a general direction. But
Mhm.
there was one time I saw something that just shoot and no aircraft at that point in time had any sort of maneuverability capabilities that this thing had to perform that
Or
kind
a
of aerial
satellite.
maneuver. And just no, a satellite ain't gonna do that. So,
Right. It's
but
pretty heavy.
not
It's
too
pretty
many.
strong.
Oh yeah, I
I've
always grew
only
up
had
believing in Bigfoot too. Always believed in that. But I've known mediums that think that they are actually an alien species that are actually able to.
Possible.
Yeah. See,
Well, we've all had some experience. We've all had some experience with
You
the
try to throw that at a cryptid though,
cryptids.
like Robert. What's his
Prevo.
name? Adrian?
Prevo.
No. The
Oh,
Bigfoot guy at
in
Arkansas Paranormal
Arkansas. No,
Expo.
not him.
Yeah.
Oh,
oh,
no, no, at the
No.
expo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not. Oh,
Can I hear it?
Swain.
I can see his
He's just a friend. I just deleted his name. No problem. Robert Swain. Yeah, he's
Ken
great.
Gerhard?
Yeah. If
Hey,
you
he's
throw
a
that at
preacher
him, he's
too.
like, absolutely not.
Oh,
Absolutely not. And I'm
just
like,
couple.
yeah, but you got to think about it. When you have
Oh.
a sighting of like a Bigfoot, you have a sighting of a UFO.
Mm,
So,
mhm.
And there are
He's been wanting to
paranormal
take me out
activities around
Bigfoot
it.
hunting for years. I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
I get
I still want to do it. I
I actually
I
saw a
don't know.
recent video of a hunter actually out in the woods, and it looked real as hell, and it looked just like a Bigfoot skull. Like it had a little bit of hair on top. And this is recent that I saw this, and of course everybody immediately is going to chalk anything up to being fake, but
Yeah.
this was pretty cool looking. But CGI is everywhere now, so you can't hardly trust anything.
Yeah.
But
And so is
Yeah,
this
AI
I don't.
video
looked,
now.
yeah.
You can't trust anything you see on the internet anymore. I mean, we may be fake. I don't know. I was watching a video. I was
Ken
watching a
real? Is he
video
up
where
there? I can't see him.
I'm over here.
he's the only one here that is real. No, we had that had
Hold on.
some
Hold on.
F-22s flying next to TIE
Yeah.
fighters. I say, and it looked real. And I'm like,
Oh
Yeah.
my
TIE
God.
fight. I don't think there are TIE fighters. I think that's in the movies. But yeah,
It's
Mhm.
dumb.
it's so that's why it's really hard to do that and try to present nowadays with people trying to present evidence. And you're like, it's so easy to fake evidence. So
Well, you also got all
it,
those fakers out there that do that and bring a bad name to us here in the paranormal that are trying to
It-
show
did
people
Pam just
that
put me
it's
off? I
real.
think Pam
Mhm.
put me
No,
off.
Robert Swain.
I
Yeah.
did
Oh,
Robert
Robert
Swain.
she just remembered.
Oh, I missed it. I didn't figure out his name.
Yeah,
But
no, I said it.
Myself.
heck, even Ken Gerhard will tell you, nope.
I was going to say Ken
And I'm like,
Gerhard. Yeah. Robert
come
Swain.
on, guys. Look at the statuses. Okay, whatever.
Whatever.
He said that too, I think.
Yeah.
That they're more
If you experience it, you'll believe it. So,
Mhm.
Well, he'll be on my
Yeah.
show Sunday, so I'm going to ask him.
Which
okay.
one?
Robert
me.
Prevo.
Oh, is he? Cool.
Yep.
Cool. Tell him hi.
I will.
From Monsters
Yeah,
Arkansas.
that one.
book right there. Oh, over there. Nope, this way. That book.
He's a good guy.
He
Yes,
is.
he
Really good guy.
Really cool.
So, are you going to be doing
All right.
anything aside from presenting the Aurora Brothel, or? Like, are you going to go to
Any
any
other?
conventions to try to promote it or do anything?
Nothing that I have scheduled right now. I barely know what I'm doing as it is. Trying to get this thing going. I've been learning from other people that have been giving me ideas. I've been trying to look at other places that have been doing this for a long time and seeing how their models work and how they go about everything to make sure that I'm doing it correctly in a way that's going to be respectful like everybody else, so they can see that it's going to be a place that's going to be welcoming to everybody and not trying to scam people and not trying to throw anything out there
But,
that's not real. So yeah,
well, if
Good
there's
deal.
anything that we can do to help, just
Exactly.
feel free to ask any one of us. You can come send a message to A.M.O.K or any one of us individual. We're happy to help.
Mhm.
Yes.
A lot of
definitely.
experience here. So, once again, before we go, I want you to tell people how to book it, where to go, how much it is, all that stuff. So, shoot.
Definitely. You can go to aurorabrothel.com. Jason Kupsek set up the website for us. It has the calendar on there, shows what dates are open, what dates have already been booked, and you just send us an entry form. It goes straight to my email. You'll say what date that you're looking into or dates that you're looking into, and if you figure out a date that you guys are ready to book, you just send half as a deposit, and that will go towards a future investigation if you have to cancel for any reason, so that way you're locked in for another place if anybody things come up, nothing you can do about it. So
Yeah.
but the Facebook, you can message me directly. My number's on there, my email's on there, everything's on there. So not trying to hide
Easy to
anywhere.
contact.
And the
No,
Yeah,
price and the
easy to
definitely.
price
contact.
is
There's a
very
really cool
reasonable.
walkthrough on
Very.
Facebook too.
What were you saying, Pam? Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
There's a really cool walkthrough that you did on Facebook too, if
Yep.
anybody's interested.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Thank you.
good.
I was
It is
going
good.
kind of fast. I was going kind of fast on that one. I'm going to redo it at some point in time. And trying to figure out my phone settings has been a pain in the butt too.
You,
But
you, do it, you do it at ADHD speed, and people are like, what? Go back.
Well, you went
That's
right, then
fine.
went way down, then you ended up on the left. It's like, whoa, how'd you get
yeah,
there?
that's the cool part of. I really like that. Yeah,
That was pretty
and
cool.
there is a bathroom stall
Oh
when
yeah.
you get down there. And everybody's free to sign that door when they come in too. So that's going to be one of those things that people can remember if they come back, and hopefully they come back. I want people to fall in love with this place, of course. Hopefully have their best experience of their lives, so they want to try to come back and have it happen again. So
Well, we will
Awesome.
definitely make it a point to check you out sometime. So, hey,
definitely
we're
appreciate
gonna take over we're gonna take over the show for a minute. Don't leave yet. All right.
it.
So
Definitely.
I'm gonna send you back to your
Matthew, thank
room.
Thank
you.
you. Thank you guys very, very much. Appreciate it. Can't wait to see
Hey,
you.
Yeah.
okay. So next week we've got Pam is gonna bring some events,
I'll have it all ready, I
We
promise.
have
and
Kansas.
we're gonna be talking with Becky Castillo from
Woo!
Yes.
ComCon and SilCon. So that should be fun. Uh, uh, I've never been to either one of those. So SilCon,
Oh,
you got
Silicon is awesome.
SoCon's
I haven't
fun.
uh,
either. Looks fun.
Yep.
so
Silicon is
yeah.
awesome. Got to meet a lot of awesome people. Got to see my good buddies Christopher and Philip Booth, and got to see Santi and Keith Age,
Keith
and
Age.
got to see Scott Temperament.
Keith will be
It's
there this year, I know
awesome.
for sure. So yeah.
Hmm.
So right on. We'll talk about that next week, right after Pam brings some fun and interesting things to do.
Oh, I will. I'll have some fantastic stuff lined up.
All right.
So next week will
Bye,
be
everybody.
really our
Bye, y'all.
Kansas. Bye, guys.
Bye.